Hi guys, Ashley here. Today I'm bringing you my colleague Oscar Lin, and we are going to talk about CRM in China. Well, Oscar, why do you think CRM is so important, particularly for China?
Because I think it's very important for every brand, not only in China, because you have to manage the customer relationship with the consumer, so that you could it could help you to easily to promote your product and to launch some campaign. So I think it's very important.
Absolutely. And in China, especially the consumers, you need to understand them very, very well. What is their digital journey? What are the things that they care about? How to maintain those relationships? This is the question that every brand, be it domestic or international, played in the China market needs to ask themselves, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and Chinese culture in generally is a lot more collective, right? When you want to share some of the information, you want to share the experiences, you also want to connect not just with the brand but with the person that is doing essentially management on your behalf, right? In so many ways. So that is why in China right now CRM is taking a very interesting form, and building these loyalty programs in China is different from what we see in the West. So how are they different, Oscar?
Yes, that's to remind me that when I studied in England, the CRM system right there, the brands always try to reach the customer by the emails or the SMS, something like that. But in China, it's totally different because people always use the social media like the Weibo or WeChat, something like that, to manage the relationship with customer. And it is very interesting that the WeChat is a very large platform that you could operate your subscription account and your online store on it. And if the followers purchase your product, and they will become the customer of it, and so you could analyze their data, you could collect the data, their data in this process. And for the Weibo, and I think it's a paid function that you could analyze your page, your traffic, your followers, and any other things. So I think it's totally different from the West, and it's very important to get familiar with these two platforms.
Yeah, it is in the habit. In the West, we are trying to capture people's email and we're trying to capture people's phone number. So then we could have this way to reach our customer without having to pay a platform. And we can do it, and people feel that, yeah, if somebody sends me an email and they are promoting their product or telling me about their new collection or whatever, it's kind of okay, right? And you can opt in or opt out. When it comes to messages like SMS spamming, that's a bit more sensitive because people sometimes also get a bit wind up about it and not very happy. But nonetheless, as the brand operating in the Western markets, very often you're focusing on capturing email and capturing, of course, the phone number. So in China, because the habit is so different, because everything happens on social media platforms and e-commerce platforms, and I always repeat that in China right now in 2021, e-commerce platforms are actually becoming a lot more like social media. They develop their social media functions. They have a place for creators. They have their own unique bloggers. They need to do that in order to drive traffic, the consumer traffic, the eyeballs, the interest, keep people coming back again and again and again. And a lot of social media platforms in China are not just about kitty cat pictures, but they actually have sales functions, shop functions that are integrated and that are very social, that are weaved in the fabric of the platform itself. So when people are spending a lot of time in those ecosystems every day, they don't want to give you email or their phone number and then be harassed on all these different channels. In China, nobody uses email really, and phone number, I mean, they're going to report you. This is like totally out of the question. You cannot just spam people with phone number. So they feel that if I'm already spending so much time on e-commerce and on social media, why don't we build a relationship on this platform? And that's where this social CRM comes into play. And you need to be smart about building, as you said, within WeChat, for instance, WeChat mini programs that are segmenting, that are getting all these data and they're segmenting it to understand your consumer better, and then you can offer them product, services, entertainment, education, content that you're producing, and you can also move it out and build a one-on-one relationship, right?
Yes.
That's beautiful. The next question that I have is about word of mouth. Word of mouth marketing in China. So when it comes to CRM, what you're trying to achieve is obviously you're trying to keep your customer engaged, entertained, stay top of mind. You're also thinking of developing your customer, making sure that he purchases from you again and again. And at the same time, you are hoping to initiate the customer sharing, so that when Oscar, you like the product, you will go and tell your friends about it, and then word of mouth will do the job. It's important everywhere in the world, but in China it seems that it's even more important. Please tell me why.
First I'm gonna share a case with you, a very successful case. Last year, International Women's Day is a very several countries celebrate this date. I would say that, and China is one of this country, and I also think this is a very good gimmick for the brand to launch some campaign to promote their products. And last year, Naywai, which is an underwear brand, has launched a phenomenal campaigns. I would say that.
Was it last year or this year, 2021 or 2020?
It's 2020.
Yes.
It invites 6 women, like they're in different age and different body type to participate in the video shooting named Nobody is Nobody, and these videos encourage women to just as they are and proud of themselves and not to be afraid of their age, and since they post this video on the WeChat on February 24th, I think it received tons of wows. Wows means that people like these articles and they recommend it to the others. This is the core of the word of mouth marketing, I think. And also they received 82,000 page views in 2 days, compared to the previous post on February 18th. I think it's increased by 500 or 600%.
Went viral.
Yes, it's a huge traffic. I would say that. So I think the word of mouth marketing is very important in China, but you have to find out who is your target audience, and you need to build up your relationship with them, and you know how to draw their attentions. Like Naywai, they already did that. Yes, that's a key point, I think.
So this is the word of mouth marketing when you are trying to connect. I think what's important here is you need to connect with what is that your target audience, what are they thinking about right now? What do they care about right now? And how can you expand this theme into something broader than just themselves, right? And very often, I think in the past 5-6 years, I've seen so many great campaigns from Chinese companies and sometimes international companies where they would touch on some points that are more social. For example, as you said, Naywai, they are talking about women, positive body positivity, and they are talking about women of different ages accepting themselves and being proud, etc., etc. And this is what their brand stands for. And this hit the social nerve, so it became very shareable. A couple of years ago, we had great campaigns. Well, it's still ongoing, but some of them are better year to year. Some of them are worse. When Apple, you remember, was shooting those great videos for Chinese New Year, and they would always shoot about migrant workers or about some family reunification scripts and scenarios, and that would be always very emotional, very Chinese, and very, I would say, also kind of local, but with international flair. So that also would be shared quite a lot. And you remember that there was this Peppa Pig campaign also, CNY, I think it was last year or so, when everybody was basically talking. It's also about Chinese New Year, and everybody was that time talking about this Peppa Pig. And basically it's about an older migrant worker or worker, like a farmer in the village, who is on the phone with his family, and he's got really, really bad connection. But when he hears that his family together with little kids are coming to the countryside, he says, "What do you want?" Asks his daughter, "What kind of gift do you want?" And she says, "I want Peppa." and then he doesn't know what pepper is, and basically he goes and he tries to figure out and ask what is pepper, and basically it's really funny. It's very local. It's kind of, it's combining so many interesting angles, and that was also very viral, and people went out to share it. When it comes to word of mouth, it can be broad, just like these campaigns that we just now spoke about, and it can be also very niche. If something hits my nerve, and there are specific topics that we don't want to share out with broader community, but the topic that hits back to home, right? And I know that there is another friend who cares about exactly the same things, and I can share it out with her or him in particular. So it can be very broad, like it becomes a viral video and everybody's talking about it and everybody's endorsing it, etc. So that hits a social issue or a social movement. But at the same time, there are smaller topics relevant to me, and I would be very happy to bring that value, right? It can be a great deal. For example, Pinduoduo. How's Pinduoduo working? How's Pinduoduo growing, especially in the early days? It's all about people doing word of mouth, saying, first of all, if we buy together, it's going to be cheaper. Second of all, Oscar, I have this great deal. You must, if I like it, then you, in my community, you might love it too. So I invite you as well. I believe truly that I bring you value, plus together we can basically purchase it cheaper. So it can grow also in a very niche scenario once you understand what's important to your consumer, and they're gonna share it out. What is the key for running a successful word of mouth campaign in China? And when we talk about campaign, we're talking about something a bit broader than just one-on-one sharing.
I would say the key for the word of mouth marketing. I think this is a key for every every marketing campaigns. You have to, the brands have to identify who is their target audience, and they, but particularly in China, they have to get familiar with all the social media platform, because social media platform is very important in China to launch every promotional campaign. So you have to understand who is your target audience following, like the KOLs or the KOCs, and all the ads formats in this social media platform, so that you could get good use of it, like cooperate with the KOLs that your target audience is following, and this is very important, I would say that.
Yeah, so in terms of word of mouth marketing, I think you need to have an idea bigger than yourself. And that's really paramount. If you want other people to care about it and share it, it needs to be an idea bigger than yourself. So come up with a great idea that is connected with current issue, a current hot topic. And then, as Oscar has mentioned, make sure that you understand the platforms, you understand the format, content formats, you understand, are there bloggers? Can you use your own blogger and creator? Can you just do it without a blogger and creator and focus on creating great stuff and boosting it with advertising, right? But the most important thing is really in this idea and reason why exactly will it touch somebody, and what are the mechanics of how people will share it. This is also extremely important, because some social media platforms are semi-closed, some of them are very open, right? So you need to understand what is going to be the mechanics. Are they going to be sending it in direct messages? Are they going to be sharing it on their walls? How can we promote and even boost this sharing within the platform? Yeah? Awesome. Thank you very much, Oscar, and thank you very much, guys. I hope you now understand a bit more about word of mouth marketing and, of course, managing your CRM in China, social CRM, particularly on social media platforms. Stay tuned for more China-related topics such as marketing in China, Chinese consumers, and, of course, China's new retail. And we're going to chat soon.